Hello everybody and welcome to my kitchen. In this video I'm going to be making some COPYCAT Olive Garden breadsticks. These are like, oh my gosh, bomb. So let's get started with the ingredients. We're going to need 2 cups of flour. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon yeast, 3 tablespoons of oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. You can use any oil. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of water. The water should be at 110 degrees heated. This way when we throw in our yeast and our sugar, the yeast will activate. For the topping, after the breadsticks have come out of the oven, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter and some garlic salt. Once you have warmed up your water to the right temperature, remember, if it's too hot, your yeast will not activate, and if your yeast is expired, it will not activate either. So check those 2 things. We're gonna toss in our yeast. And we're just gonna toss in about 1 tablespoon of sugar. The sugar helps it activate. Just give it a mix. And then we're pretty much just gonna leave this here about 10-15 minutes until it gets foamy. Once your yeast has foamed, mine didn't actually take the 15 minutes. I think mine took like 8 minutes. So it is pretty good. We're ready for our next step. You can do this in a bowl, just a bowl with, and then you're just gonna have to use your hands, or you can do it on your stand mixer. So we're gonna throw in our yeast mixture. The rest of the sugar. The salt. The oil. And then we're gonna throw in the flour. I'm gonna throw in about that much. Sometimes you just have to check, because sometimes you don't need that much flour. So we're just gonna do that much. We're gonna mix this, and if we need the rest of the flour, we'll add it in. I'm going to add the rest of the flour. And then continue to mix. So if you can see here, my dough is still sticking to the sides. So I am going to add a little bit at a time of flour. You can just tell right away that it's still sticky. So I am going to add a little bit more. So all you're going to be doing is just keep adding a little bit of flour at a time, not like a whole bunch, until the dough doesn't stick anymore to the sides. And also, you don't want to add too much flour though, because if it's too much, your breadsticks are going to be like all hard, and then your dough isn't even going to be soft and it won't even rise. So here you can now see that my dough doesn't stick to the sides. All the dough, all the flour has pretty much combined. So now we're going to take it to a surface. You're going to turn it on to a lightly floured surface, and we are going to knead it just a little bit. I would say knead this for about 2 minutes. So once you've kneaded it for around 2 minutes, you're still going to notice that it is still sticky, and that is what you want. You don't want dry dough. So then all we're gonna do, we are going to oil our bowl. I use olive oil, this one, and then oil around the bowl, and then we're gonna stick our ball in there, our dough. I'm gonna turn it around, getting everything. And then we're gonna cover this with plastic wrap, and this has to rise in a warm place for 1 hour. So I think because today it's hot outside, it's gonna work in my favor. So I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap and just place it outside. So we'll see you back in 1 hour. When your dough has risen, double its size. If your dough didn't rise, that means you did something wrong and you're gonna have to start all over. Mine did. Okay, and then we're gonna punch it down, and then we're gonna turn it onto our floured surface. And we are going to divide this into 12 equal pieces. You can use your scale for this, just so that you know that you got it, that you got them the same size. So what I'm doing, I'm measuring between 1.3 and 1.5 each ball. The dough is sticky, so you're gonna have to be using flour here, and that's fine. Four, five, six, and then I'll just divide. Okay, so that's how you're gonna do it, and then continue to do it with all of it, about 1.3 to 1.5 each ball. Once you have your balls, what you're gonna do, you are gonna need some flour. Maybe not too much, because then it'll be too hard to roll. But we're gonna roll these into at least 9-inch ropes. Not too thin, not too big, and if you see bubbles, just pop those. And then you're gonna just pat it on the side And then we're gonna place these on our parchment, on our cookie sheet with parchment paper. So once you have rolled them all out, you have them on your parchment paper, we're going to cover this just with you can cover it with plastic wrap or a rag or whatever. And we are going to do a second rise on these 1 hour. So after that, I will show you what they're going to look like after the second rise, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven. So I have my last two, and I'm gonna show you. So if it's sticky, just roll it in a little bit of flour, and then what you do is you're gonna start in the middle. Start in the middle and work out. And then you're going to pretty much just push in the ends, and that's that. And this is my last one. And that's it. So the dough got its second rise. It took about, I would say, 40 minutes. So sometimes it's not going to take the whole hour. Just keep checking on it, and then you can tell when it already doubles its size, and it's done already doubled its size again. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna pop this in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then while these are baking, we're going to do our topping. So what you're going to do is pop your butter into the microwave, melt it, and then we're going to add our garlic salt. You can actually add as much garlic salt as you want. Some people like it really heavy. Some people don't like that much. And that's it. We're gonna set this aside. You just mix it, and then we're gonna use a brush to brush the breadsticks. We're gonna use this brush to put the butter on it. So set this aside until the breadsticks have baked. So when your breadsticks come out of the oven, you have to brush on the butter with the garlic right away. That way it takes in all the good stuff and it stays buttery. And that is how you make inspired Olive Garden breadsticks, and they taste so delicious. My kids really love these. Always wanted me to make them. Okay, and that's it.